Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl Carolina Sanchez, and tonight we're talking about stress. I mean, we've got the holiday season, we've got inflation, we've got it all. But are you taking it home to your partner? All right, we're gonna dive into the external stressors, so things that aren't even happening within your relationship and how they affect how you view your partner. So I got my friends here. We got Tambra Monteiro, we've got Dave the comedian, and Dr. Viviana Coles. So, stress from outside the marriage. Oh, Tambra, immediately
Girl.
you lit up.
Because it's so true. Like, so many other things. I take on a lot. I'm not a doctor, Viviana. But a lot of my friends come to me with their issues. And because I love so passionately, whether you're my friend or in a relationship, I take on those issues. And sometimes they mad at their husbands or they're stressed out about something. And I find myself mad at my husband about it, and it has nothing to do with him. You know? So I got to check myself sometimes.
Yes. Dealing with that at the house. Go ahead.
So I have the opposite happen.
Oh.
Where I'm always working with couples who are super stressed out and in rough shape, right? And we're working through it. But I come home and my husband's like, "How was your day?" I'm like, "I love you so much. Don't stop being you. You are just amazing." And he's like,
love that.
"Oh, okay."
Oh, wow. It must be nice to be him, though.
Let me tell you, from the man's point of view, what you was talking about is crazy to us. But men are so used to biting our tongue and dealing with things that, because my wife wants to come home and talk about her job 24/7 and her coworkers and all the issues. And I don't want to hear about none of them. But I do. Because I want to stay married.
Well, and not only that, but I like what he's saying. He just isn't saying it right. He is protecting his relationship from
Yes.
external stressors.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been around couples who are divorcing, you know how much that tension
Oh my
can
gosh,
like
it's a
blur over
cloud.
to you. And so, Dave, you're doing the right thing. You need to say it a little nicer.
Well, I mean, I've tried always.
What have you done? What have you done?
No, I mean, you can only, it's so many ways you can say it before you finally say, "Hey, I got to go have a drink."
You know
Because
what?
this is crazy. I'm talking about Broomhilda at your job, which I don't know. And I'm more worried about her relationship than our relationship because I hear about it all the time. It's,
You know what? I find it easier because when I find myself doing that, I'm just honest with him, and I'll let him know, "Hey, this is not even about you. Like, I need a moment. Let me transition from friendship to relationship. And if you don't tell me, I think it's something wrong with us. Like, talk to her and let her know, like, hey, this is what's going on right now."
That actually is what the study that recently came out, saying that your stress from outside is how you view your partner. If you don't address or recognize that you're stressed, right,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you're going to take it out
On your partner.
On your partner.
but I want to ask the doctor this. So when the wife come home and vent, because she said, "I just need to vent. I need to vent, and you need to hear it."
Yes.
She's putting it on me.
Well,
Now
she may
I'm
not
dealing
know
with-
that she is burdening you. You need to let her know, "Hey, I'm human. So the things that you're sharing with me, while I'm glad that you're venting, but you're downloading onto me. And then what am I supposed to do with all of this?"
Because you know what, men are trying to solve issues.
Exactly.
But the minute you
fix
say it,
it.
I'm trying to solve it, but you're coming with too much.
So you can tell her, "Hey, let's talk about, like, give me 5% of what's going on so I can process it and digest it, but you don't cram it down my throat because it's gonna come back up." I mean, same kind of thing.
I'm going to have you call my wife.
You know, one thing that I really like to do, and I incorporated this with my kids and my husband, but I ask, like, do you want to vent or do you want advice? You know what I mean? And that kind of separates.
You're asking him that?
I'll ask if he comes home with a problem, because, you know, work is stressful.
Which we don't.
You know.
We hold on to it. We hold on to it. I have problems at my job. You think my job is wonderful? No, but I don't come home and dump it. I don't come and dump it on you.
And I think that's
Yeah,
the issue.
but that's also a problem, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like,
It
Dr.
probably
Viviana
is.
Yeah.
holding on to it, and then it's just billowing inside you all
Yeah.
this stress, and
I mean,
then you
well,
have
if
to
you-
release
I
for
agree.
it.
So
I
if
think
you
the
were to
man
tell
is-
her, "Hey, I'm not going to be sharing everything that's going on at work and all my work troubles because I have a plan for working through them." But if you are not sharing it there, you're not sharing at work, you don't have a plan, guess who's going to fall sick into bed at some point?
Eventually.
Well, but most of my stuff in my job, I take it out on my employees.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
it's not coming home. We're going to take care of this during these 8 hours.
Right. Okay.
So that turns into a toxic work environment, and you're causing problems at their house.
Is it better? Okay, they're the ones going home
Yeah,
and complaining to their partners.
It's not coming to my house. Not Pearland. It won't be in Pearland.
And you know what? Also, she may want you to share some of that. I know men all the time, y'all are really strong and you want to be the head of the household and kind of keep everything in. But for me, when my partner does share sometimes his day, it makes me feel more connected to him. It doesn't have to be everything, but when he comes home and he tells me, I'm like, oh, okay, you are human. We don't want you to be a robot.
We have other things we have to worry about when I get home. I'm done with work. I'm done with work now because you got a list at home for me to do.
Yes,
You got a list of
Well,
things
Dave,
at home.
if you find,
The honeydew list is endless.
Dave, if you find that you're able to be vulnerable in other ways, then you will be able to have that emotional intimacy, and it doesn't have to deal with dumping about work. Got it.
Sure, I agree.
But if you're not sharing anything because you don't, it's problem.
No, I'm not. I didn't say I didn't share anything. Just
Work.
Just
The
not
work stuff.
work. Just not work. There's other things. I have family members who get on my nerves, and I say, my sister's
All right,
killing
we're
me.
going to have to drink to that because these people get on my nerves. Just kidding. All right, we've got FAO in the building, and they're making, y'all know my favorite cocktail, Old Fashioned, but they got a twist coming up. Welcome back to the Nightcap. Things were getting heated on the couch, so we had to, come cool down here behind the bar with my guys from FAO, Adonis and Bronson, because we're going to do what? We're going to back that glass up, baby. And you guys actually brought my favorite cocktail, the Old Fashioned, but you got a unique take.
Yep, got a little spin on the Old Fashioned. Of course, it's one of our favorite cocktails. It's a classic one. But for you, we're going to actually do our People's Elbow Old Fashioned, which is going to use Terramana Reposado. As we know, Dwayne Johnson, the Rock, his tequila. It's going to be 1.5 ounces of that with a little orange bitters and some honey syrup. That way it gives a little extra sweetness to it. Really helps balance all the cocktail out and everything like that. Really get all the aromas of the orange zest and everything like that too. While he's mixing that one up, I'll kind of get started on our other one that we like, which is
You got two? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Viviana's over there on the couch. She needs a drink as well.
Oh yeah, we can't forget everybody else
No,
that's listening over here
absolutely
too.
not.
So, with that one, we're gonna have it's our bourbon old fashioned, which is gonna use Knob Creek rye, normal Angostura bitters, and then simple syrup. And then of course you get an orange zest with that. What I will like to make a note of is with our cocktails at FAO, we do things a little bit differently. We actually make all of our syrups in-house. With that stuff, you buy it on the shelf. It does have a shelf life, what people don't realize. So we try and make everything organically done. So not only with our syrups, we also use fresh lime juice, lemon juice, just different ingredients to make sure that it elevates the cocktails to where, of course, FAO has kind of been known as a little bit of a game bar, but our pride and joy is behind the bar with the cocktails, and that's where we kind of elevate the experience. So you come for the games, but you stay for the drinks.
Wow. This is so unique. I do like it.
Yeah, well, we definitely had to, of course,
Sorry,
we're bourbon
Bruce was
fans.
in my ear. She's like, do you like it? I'm like, yeah. But it definitely gives you that old-fashioned feel, but it doesn't taste like an old-fashioned, but it does. But I love tequila, so it works. This is great. But yeah, I mean, when you think of FAO, if you haven't been, it's in Midtown. It's got, the arcade games. It's got, it's a fun place to be. So anybody can go up and order.
Yes. So these are going to be the People's Elbow Old Fashioned and the FAO Old Fashioned. Of course, you can get any bourbon or tequila with your Old Fashions, but what's unique about these are always going to be consistent because we do things a little different. We actually, to enhance the efficiency of the drinks, we actually offer a lot of them on draft. So these two will be on draft. So don't hesitate don't hesitate to order.
It still tastes as good though.
100%. We just measure it out, times about a certain amount, add the ingredients into a tank. That way, don't have to hesitate. You can order Old Fashioned at 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't feel bad because what we have seen being in this industry, a lot of people are hesitant to order the drink that they want because bartenders tend to be a little bit apprehensive about serving it because they actually have to work. So it's unfortunate, but we pride ourselves on that.
You're keeping it honest. All right, so
it.
before I let y'all go though, I need to know, full honesty, do you guys take your stress from the job, which bars, I know working them is very stressful.
That
Do you
is.
take that home?
I would say early on in this project, it definitely was there because unfortunately we got started in COVID. So we had got hit with that shortly after we opened up, had to revamp. We were out of this industry for a good 8 to 10 months before we revamped and came up with FAO, which where this whole concept rotated, and it's been a blessing. So we did have a lot of stress there, but I think now that we've been able to siphon through some things and build boundaries about what you guys are talking about, I think me and him have a good head on our shoulders as far as where we're going, and I think that's a big part of it, is actually understanding where we're going to remove those stresses. Fortunately, don't have a significant other so where I can take it to that, but I think we do a pretty good job about actually leaving it in the building, just getting creative. Of course, we love what we do, so that's the biggest part about it. Our goal is to help people, show them a great time, and we're able to do that. So whenever your concept is receptive on that, then I think that it helps relieve a lot of that stress. So I honestly, personally, I don't have too much. Of course, the daily business owner stresses, but other than that, it's pretty smooth sailing for us, at least personally.
All right, Bronson. He talked a lot. So, is he stressing you out? Let me know, boo. We can share these drinks right now.
No, personally not. For me, I don't really take a lot of stress with me. I just don't like it. One thing that I always say to all the employees is don't stress out about the things you can't control, because that's a big thing. There are a lot of things going on in this world that you just can't control it at all by any means. So don't let that dwell on you. I'm a big advocate of that, and more or less, like I said, if you enjoy what you do, you're not really stressing out.
And y'all having a good time at FAO.
Oh, every day.
If you want to have a good time, FAO.
Please come see us.
But the stress continues, folks. When we
does.
come back, we're going to talk about, what actually happens within the relationships and those stressors. Gotta take this to Dr. Viviana. Thanks,
Enjoy.
y'all.
Thank you.
So a study was conducted to discover the top 3 causes of stress in a marriage, and here's what they discovered. See if you can relate to these. Number 1 was a lack of boundaries around work. So always bringing work home eventually ebbs away at your time together, and it impacts your emotional and physical intimacy. Look, your boss is not going to establish your boundaries for you. You have to do that for yourself. Learn to say no for the sake of your marriage. Number 2 is sexual frequency and desire. Look, men and women alike want to be desired by their spouse. And when they start to feel too tired or libido is running low, it can feel like rejection to your spouse. So remember to reserve the best time and energy for each other. Number 3 is money. So stress over money is real, right? So besides putting together a budget and then agreeing on who's going to manage that, you both have to decide in your heart that you're not going to let the pursuit of money become more important than your love for each other.
Nail on the head, right?
So many.
We've got Dr. Viviana, Dave, and Tambra here. Ooh, yeah?
That
check,
is
check, check.
a lot to unpack, but God, he is so right in every point that he mentioned. One pet peeve of mine used to be my husband off on his off days answering phone calls from work. Like, these people do not care about you. They will replace you tomorrow. When I'm laying up, snuggle time, being all extra cute and stuff, look at me. I want all of your attention, okay? And I even tell them, give me your attention. I want it.
Dave, why did you roll your eyes to that?
Here we go again.
I got
He
your
wants
attention.
all of his attention. Listen, maybe he has to answer the phone to keep his job. So, because a man is thinking, I got to pay this bill here. If mortgage is due, this is what I got to do. So stop for a second with the and let me make sure I'm still got a living.
Yeah.
So if he got to answer the phone, he got to answer the phone. We'll get back to rubbing you afterwards, but I need to see, do we still have a job?
Okay.
I don't see the problem.
I understand both of your perspectives, and I've actually been in both of your shoes when it comes to this. But what I'll tell you is that if there's open communication about, like, hey, give me 5 minutes to handle this email. But if you're saying give me 5 minutes and then it's another 5 minutes and another 5 minutes, or if you're saying, hey, give me attention for 5 minutes and then go back, and you're still not doing it, it's about the communication and the expectation. If if you're expecting cuddle time while we watch a movie and you're on your computer the whole time, then that's not going to
It's
work.
not
But if you
quality.
say,
It's not
if you
quality
say,
time.
hey, I can watch this movie with you and I can stay in this room, but I am going to have to, return some emails. She might then be able to say, well, then let's just wait till later, or she'll be like, cool, thank you. But you have to manage your expectations.
Right.
I agree. And when it comes to money, guys, that's y'all's number one focus, right? Being able to provide from the family, and I'm totally okay with that. But if you become consumed with it, then you miss the moments. The little moments make the bigger moments that much more enjoyable. So there has to be balance between both.
I agree 100%. You can't be consumed. But if that's what you've been taught, protect and provide, and that's what I'm trying to do, because that's what good men do. And then when I'm trying to do it, you want more. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm losing some of this balance. So
So it's never enough cuddle time. It's never enough work. It's
it's
never
just-
enough anything. You ain't providing enough.
it's just never enough. It's just, and that's how a lot of men feel, because I talk at bars with my buddies, and we a lot of like, man, what's enough?
So when men are socialized to be providers, and that's the number one thing, and that's the most desirable facet of what they bring to the table, then they are setting themselves up for failure. And let me tell you why. Because what if the
Society
guy...
set us up, not me.
Exactly. Sure, but
it out.
Don't
you're
say I did
adding
this.
to
But
it.
you're living up to it,
maintaining-
right? Yeah, if you're picking up the
maintaining
phone on
Let me tell
Sunday.
you what she can't get from the next guy. The next guy might have $500,000 more or $5 more. And when you're talking about your value being tied to money, you are so much more than that. How you make her feel, how you make her laugh, in the bedroom, how things are going, all of that
Ooh,
adds
I like
to
that
your
one.
value. It adds to your value. If
does.
you see yourself as a dollar sign, then guess what? The guy with $3 signs is coming up next, and he's going to get swept up.
But doctor, I didn't say that's all I see in myself, but that's a major part. We can't overlook that I'm the provider. You understand what I'm saying? I give you a prime
But
example.
then you need to give her those expectations. Just say, I can be here for you, but remember, I'm working 24/7, so you need to let me know what it is that you need so that I can plan for it, I can
Right.
schedule it. My husband told me something that was like super smart, and I wish I'd thought about it. He said, if you're gonna ask me to do something for you, give me the time frame about how long it's gonna take so that I can tell you if I can actually do it now or if I need another 10 minutes or another hour or after work or on the weekend.
That's true. I
But
mean,
I'm like,
how
hey,
often,
honey, can you come help me? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know.
I like him.
'Cause
I like him.
I mean, how often do you just say to your husband, like, hey, I need you to take out the trash? And your expectation is within, maybe the
Immediately.
next 30 minutes, right?
30 seconds.
And then it's like,
Now.
Okay, 2 hours later, he still
What are
hasn't
you
done
doing?
it.
Yes.
And then you're upset, but yeah, I didn't
That's
give
true.
him a time frame.
We don't like when you come to us, it's in the fourth quarter, and Brady's about to win the game, and y'all wait to come and start talking right at that moment. And I swear, guys are doing like this. And it's like, you don't want to talk to me? Not now.
Right.
Not
No, I
this
get that.
second. 'Cause
I
I'm
get
like,
that.
why would you wait for this moment? It was halftime went by. There was commercials.
And right here.
And right
No,
now,
I get
he's
it.
setting a record, and you over here all up in my ear. All right, well, when we come back, we're actually going to dive into what we didn't talk about, the sex. Yeah, 'cause that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest for some. Stick around. We're going to talk about sex now, baby, because that's affecting a lot of relationships, ain't it?
Yes, yes.
So what is the biggest complaint you see, Dr. Viviana?
One person wants it more than the other, and specifically more often. The quality is usually there, the quantity is not.
And what is affecting the other partner who's not giving the quantity? Is it
Usually
the
stress.
Stress.
Especially for men. I think men are even more so physically altered by stress, especially external stress. Their libido will tend to go down when they're overly stressed. Some will say, sex is such a great way for me to relieve stress. And so if they're not having that and they don't, then it gets really, emotionally and physically backed up.
What are y'all seeing?
Well, can I jump in?
Go ahead, Dave.
Okay,
Chime,
real
chime.
quick. I'll make it quick because, and I have kids, and they're the number one problem. I love them dearly.
Oh.
They block
but
you.
They're blocking.
Cock
they are
blockers.
blockers. Can I say that?
You can say cock
They
blockers,
are
I
cock
said it.
blockers to the 10th power. and get the baby out the bed. My wife
Yes.
had him in there forever, and I'm like,
That's not sexy.
I mean, come on, his
Not
toes are down
sexy.
here with me. That's how long he is now. You know what I'm saying? So get the kids, you have to have time for yourself like when y'all dated
Yes.
before these rascals showed up. That's my number one problem, the kids.
Yeah.
Love you, kids.
I think I've been on both ends of the equation where I wanted it more and it wasn't getting it, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And I think that all depends on what you make important. Because sometimes I have to, get out of my own head on either end of that and be like, okay, this is good for the relationship and I'm gonna feel great afterwards. Let's just get it done, not in that way, but like let's have fun as a couple. And sometimes I think that's what it takes, getting out of your own head.
Hey.
Listen, just keep the stress at work, right?
Right.
Bring your best self to your relationship. Talk about the money, talk about the sex, set expectations, all right? And then you'll be good. Hope you had a great time listening to this conversation, had some laughs. Cheers to you. We'll see you next time. And cheers to y'all. Thank you so much for coming. Come over. Yeah, the fellas. Stay for the drink.
Salud.
Salud.